Are BlackRock and Gary Gensler, Larry, Barry, and Gary working together around BTC? You can't make this stuff up. I'm going to show you an awesome video on Instagram. I'm going to let him tell the story. Then I'm going to break down the facts, figures, numbers, logic. And I would love to hear your opinion on what you think about Gary Gensler, Larry Fink, and Barry from Grayscale. The story of Larry, Barry, and Gary. We're going to break that down in today's video. On the back end of the video, I share with everybody exactly what I'm doing as we head into one of the biggest historical bull runs in human history. So buckle up. This is going to be a great story. So this is an awesome Instagram post that was sent to me a while ago. As I said, I'm traveling in Peru right now, so I did this video a couple weeks earlier. But the profile, I believe is, or I don't know if this is, yeah, I think this is his profile. It says only Tim Penn Hallerick. So if you can see it there, hopefully. But if you want to go check out his profile. So this is a story of Gary Gensler, Larry Fink, and Barry from Grayscale. So we're going to listen to what he says. And then I had to dive into this. So somebody, amazing person, sent this to me on Instagram. And I wanted to break this down. But you can't make this stuff up, guys. You cannot make this stuff up. It just really shows behind the scenes. I mean, and maybe we're getting a little too deep in the weeds, but I mean, the timing just is impeccable, absolutely impeccable. Remember, Gary Gensler said it's used for money laundering in 2017, and boom, look at the timing, 2023, all of a sudden he switches his tone. So let's listen to the story of Gary, Larry, and Barry, and then I'll show you the facts, figures, numbers, logic.
The story of Gary, Barry, and Larry. You could not make this stuff up. Gary Gensler, SEC chairman, Barry Silbert, founder of the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock. What's going on here? Well, Gary, he approved the Bitcoin ETFs. Barry, well, he's selling his Grayscale Bitcoin holdings, and Larry is buying about the exact same amount that Barry happens to be selling.
Okay, so let's pause for just a moment. So Gary approved the Bitcoin ETF, which I'll show you on January 10th. And then Barry had to sell all his Bitcoin, liquidate some Bitcoin. And then Larry Fink started buying it all up.
This works well because BlackRock can accumulate Bitcoin without actually having any dramatic impact on the price. Now, this keeps the public in the dark, and that keeps Gary happy. But why would Barry agree to do this? Well, Letitia James, the New York Attorney General, just so happens to have filed a lawsuit against Barry for defrauding people in the Genesis saga for about $3 billion. Now, could this be the cost for Barry to stay out of jail, to hand over all of his BTC? Maybe. But Gary wants you to keep trusting in fiat money and stocks rather than waking up and buying Bitcoin. It seems that Larry might have Barry by the balls. So Gary and Larry are happy, maybe not so much Barry.
So Larry and Gary have Barry by the balls. So let's take a look at the facts, figures, numbers, logic. So January 10th, 2024, statement on approval of spot Bitcoin exchange traded products. You know, he was so against it, and then he approved it, right? So Bitcoin or Grayscale, excuse me, BlackRock gets involved in 2023. You know, there's all this rumor, and then January 10th, 2024, we get the Bitcoin ETF approval. Now, maybe behind the scenes, they knew this was coming up. So this was on February 16th, 2024, 1 month later, 1.6 billion Grayscale sell-off ahead. What does that mean for Bitcoin? After Grayscale's token shifted promptly, a dip in BTC price, could a bankruptcy sale also move the needle? News had dropped that the U.S. bankruptcy judge granted bankrupt crypto lender Genesis permission to sell 1.6 billion in Grayscale Bitcoin Trust GBTC shares. The idea is to pay back creditors waiting on their cash since the lender went bust. Okay, so January 10th it got approved. Maybe they knew this was coming up, and then Genesis bags 32,000 Bitcoins after selling Grayscale's shares. So there's Barry. So Larry was waiting for Barry to sell all his BTC, and Gary was happy because maybe he's working with Larry. I don't know, man. And in February, bankruptcy court lender Genesis received court approval to liquidate its giant pile of Grayscale shares as part of the proceedings, hoping to secure over $1 billion. After finally dumping the Grayscale shares, the defunct crypto lender has taken a rather unique approach to maximizing the returns of its creditors and stakeholders. So then we fast forward to this present time. This video is about I'm still in Peru, so 2 weeks ago. Okay, and so this is what's happened since then. And now BlackRock, took over Grayscale. Remember, Grayscale was the largest in Bitcoin holding, but now let's see what BlackRock has going on. So Gary approved it. Maybe him and Larry were working together, and Gary approved it because he knew that Barry was in trouble, and Barry had to give up his Bitcoin, and Larry came in, so Gary and Larry have him by the balls.
Bitcoin's rise comes as BlackRock's IBIT surpassed Grayscale's GBTC, becoming the largest spot Bitcoin ETF in the US. That's according to the product pages for those ETFs, which show IBIT holding nearly $19.5 billion in net assets as of yesterday, and GBTC holding $19.3 billion worth of Bitcoin. Since going live in January, investors have poured billions into IBIT and have withdrawn billions from the Grayscale fund, which is a higher fee than that of others trading right now. Most of the approved spot Bitcoin ETFs have fees of between 0.2% and 0.4%, but the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust charges a 1.5% fee. Buying activity for IBIT increased recently amid bullish sentiment for Bitcoin and the crypto market at large. Exactly 1 week ago, the SEC approved a rule change that would pave the way for ETFs that buy and hold Ether. Yesterday, BlackRock filed an amended S1 form for its proposed spot Ether ETF, which revealed more information about the product. The filing reveals a seed capital investor purchased the initial shares for the proposed ETF, and that the net asset value of the trust was $10 million.
Okay, so welcome to the monopolization, guys. What it was decentralization, welcome to the monopolization. First they resist it, then they sue it, then they regulate it, then they join it. The story of Larry, Barry, and Gary. Gary approves the Bitcoin ETF. Barry has to dump his Bitcoin. Larry comes in and sucks it up, and now is the largest holder of Bitcoin, the largest asset manager in the world. Think about that for just a moment. On the board of trustees for the World Economic Forum. They were also tapped by the Federal Reserve in 2009 to balance out the markets, and the Federal Reserve tapped them in 2020 to balance out the markets. So anybody who thinks crypto is not here to stay, number one, and doesn't think that it's not going to be part of the normal system, I don't know what else to tell you. The story of Larry, Barry, and Gary. So what am I doing with my cryptocurrency when this stuff goes absolutely parabolic on the back end of the year? As I pull from the left side of the risk pyramid, high risk, high return, I pull it down and I max fund my insurance policies. From there, it guarantees my principal. I can borrow against the cash value. I'm also going to be getting more into real estate, precious metals for silver, Bitcoin as my gold, and I'm going to continue to expand my businesses. So what I do is I use Merlin, the smartest way to track your crypto. I set it up with an exit plan, tells me how much I need to pay Uncle Sam, and then I exercise those trades as we send alerts to you. You can download Merlin 30 days for free. I'm the co-founder and creator of it in the description of this YouTube video. So if you are interested too in understanding, people message me all the time about when I talk about insuring my wealth, you can fill out a needs assessment down below in the description of this video, or if you click the link in my bio, if you fill out a needs assessment, I'll have the proper team member reach out to you. Remember, be careful of scammers. We do not invest people's money. We do not have an investment platform. If people are messaging you, ask you about your crypto, that is not us. Be careful with any influencer out there. No influencer is messaging you about your crypto. They're not asking you to send them money. They're not DMing you on WhatsApp or Instagram. That is not us. And so I'll make that very clear for almost all influencers in this space. We have, you go to my profile, you can fill out a needs assessment, right? We'll have the proper team member reach out to you. So it's completely free. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. I'll be back from Peru on Monday, and I'll do a check-in with you guys and give you a little recap. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. As we always say, Warriors, rise, get your shit together. Let's go.